our next live stream through Prague. I'm Sylvie Tour Guide, and today, as announced, we will try to explore if the nature is already showing first signs of spring. I am in front of the National Museum on the top of Wenzel Square. I hope you can hear me well. I just have to turn a little bit the camera, and I can show you the backside of the museum. And while we walk a little bit around the museum, I can tell you what's awaiting us. As always, this live walk is going to be a little bit unplanned because you never know what is expecting us. The reason why I chose this part of Prague is that this park surrounding the National Museum is quite new, lavishly reconstructed just a few years ago, including this park. And I know that they put thousands of flower bulbs here, and that's why my hope was that there will be first spring flowers here. And here you already can see some snowdrops. Last week everything was white here, and now we can feel the spring is already knocking on the door, even if we still have more than a month. Ja, das ist nämlich auch kein Rasen, sondern das sind alles Schneeglöckchen. Ich werde sie ein bisschen heranzoomen, vielleicht könnt ihr sie jetzt besser sehen. Here are many snowdrops growing. So, yeah. So, and as always, this live walk should be a little bit interactive. So, don't hesitate to ask me questions or give me directions. You can see here will soon other flowers be in bloom. There is something special here for the gentleman. I could not use it. It means the gentlemen should do their job here and not on the trees. So one more sight to these snowdrops, And unfortunately, you can't hear the birds sing here because the traffic is really uh, busy right now. Here there's some Christmas rose and this will be, I think, daffodils. Das werden einmal ganz viele Narzissen sein, wenn es hier blüht. And this park is really beautifully reconstructed, including these lamps and the lawns here are divided into two parts. The front one is the so-called leisure meadow. It's for people, which means the dogs are not allowed to run there. One more Christrosen. Imagine how it will look like in 4 weeks. This will be great. Ja, der Frühling klopft hier gewaltig an die Tür. So, and the other meadow, this is for the dogs. Here, dogs are allowed to run. And somewhere here there was some sign with a description how many plant bulbs they put in here. So unfortunately we can't see it anymore. Another little flower in tender violet. Hopefully there will be more when we go further. Look at this. Also here there will be some daffodils in bloom. And I think this park is really beautiful with the view to the National Museum, a little oasis in the middle of the bustling city center. And after this visit of this park surrounding the National Museum, we could have a short look to the front part of the museum, because there are many sculptures to admire. Sorry, sometimes I just stop talking because I have to watch my step. So look at this. There are really hundreds, maybe thousands of little spring sparkles. It's so beautiful. So That's a sculpture of an actress, a very famous actress from the 19th century. There are many things to tell about the National Museum. One not everybody is aware of is that there are 72 names on the facade of the National Museum, names of important scientists, composers, writers, painters, important people for our culture and science and literature. And not a single one is a woman. Maybe that's why they put a sculpture of an actress to get at least a little equality. The National Museum is standing on a site where originally the so-called horse gate stood. The name of the horse gate was because the Wenceslas Square formerly was called Horse Square until 1848. In 1848, it received the name Wenceslas Square. So look, here we can already see the first primroses still hidden under the needles. And look, there are some tender little blooms. But actually, I saw these trees in bloom 2 weeks ago already. Does someone of you know what the name is of these trees? So again, some primroses. Unfortunately, the National Museum is closed this week, but because I thought we could start our live walk on the top of the museum. There must be an incredible view from there up. Here you can see some very loud tourists. This these sculptures are symbols of the two most important rivers in our country, the uh, Labe and the Moldau. That's why the paddles, I think, they really have huge feet. Here you can see Saint Wenceslas sculpture, and look, we are getting new tramway connection. It will connect particularly the uh, main train station with the Wenceslas Square, even if there already is a connection with the public transportation. We have a subway connection, but not everyone wants to travel with the subway, so they decided to build a tramway connection as well. And one day there already will be also a train connection. There will come four big railway stations connecting the main city center. Hello. So the museum also has some some shots in its facade. It comes from the invasion in August 1968, where the Warsaw Pact came to save us, and they shot on the museum because people changed some signs of the streets, and the soldiers thought it would be the radio, and the radio kept sending, and that's why they shot on the facade. And despite the reconstruction, they left this remains on the facade. I don't know, maybe you will be able to see it. These little these little points on the facade. So, and this is the building that also had a very interesting, I think, history. Uh, Originally, it was a money stock exchange. Later, this socialist brutal construction came on it, and it was the building of our federal parliament. But after the end of Czechoslovakia, we didn't need this, no, nothing anymore for this federation. So then there was the Radio Free Europe, and now it's a part of the National Museum. There's the Children's Museum inside. You can see the Children's Museum, and it is even connected with the National Museum with with a tunnel. So even if it's too hot or rainy or something, You don't have to leave the museum. You just need to take the tunnel and go from the main building to the children's museum. The fountain is of course closed, but in the summer it looks really beautiful when it's operating. Here we have another monument for a student who set his body in fire as a reaction, a desperate reaction for this invasion in 1968. So here the rails are already finished, and there they will lead in the direction to the main station. One day we could also visit this main station because it's a super beautiful building which is being reconstructed right now. More and more spaces are renovated already, and there are also some sculptures to see on it, and monuments, and there's also a huge model of Lego uh, consisting of several thousand of parts, having more than 12 square meters, and depicting, of course, the station. So it's indeed really, really interesting there. And the main station is the largest Art Nouveau building in the Czech Republic. So here are some visualizations how it will look like once when the uh, tramway rails will be finished. This fountain already is there. It's on the lower part of the Wenceslas Square. I think it will look great. I'm already looking forward to it. So, and ich bin in Prag. Ich bin in Prag am Wenzelsplatz. Leider wird das hier alles umgebaut, was ich gerade gezeigt habe. Hier werden Straßenbahngleise verlegt. Aber das hier ist das Nationalmuseum und die Straßenbahngleise sollen hauptsächlich den Hauptbahnhof mit dem Wenzelsplatz verbinden. Leider habe ich heute einen englischsprachigen Live-Walk angekündigt, aber es ist kein Problem, wenn ihr mir die Fragen auf Deutsch schreibt. Ich kann sie dann auch beantworten. Und ruhig mal auch interaktiv, wenn euch was interessiert oder wenn ich irgendwas näher heranzoomen sollte. Ich hoffe, ich bin dann nicht zu schnell. Alles klar, Englisch ist in Ordnung. Gut. So, here we have the probably most famous sculpture from the Wenceslas Square. That's Saint Wenceslas, the main patron saint of our country. He was our duke in the 10th century. In 935, murdered by his brother, and he is accompanied by four other patron saints. This lady with the scarf, that's Saint Ludmila. She was the grandmother of Saint Wenceslas, and also the first uh, mur- uh, the first female murderer of our country, and also the first baptized woman of our country. This is Saint Agnes of Bohemia. She was a princess. She brought the order of the Franciscans to our country in the 12th century, and that's Saint Prokop, who was also a very important religious man who supported the writing and reading in old Slavic languages. And this is Saint Adalbert, who was our second archbishop, and sorry, bishop, not archbishop, who was our second bishop, and it's also one of the guys to whom the St. Vitus Cathedral is dedicated to. And this sculpture should, I'm going to show you once more when I'm a little bit more far away. So this sculpture of Saint Adalbert should also depict the author of this whole group of saints. This was Josef Václav Myslbek. He was a student of Auguste Rodin, and one of the best sculptors we've ever had. And for example, for the sculpture of Saint Wenceslas, he studied the horse in a farm, and you could really see every single muscle on it. And he also depicted the original shirt and the helmet that are now in the chapel of Saint Wenceslas in the St. Vitus Cathedral. Wait, I'm. I have to. I have to cross the street and take care that cars don't hit me. So, and while we walk away and come closer to our next goal, or to our next surprise that I have for you, you could write me where you are watching from. Uh, are you even in Europe? I often have some viewers from Asia, because in Europe it's 3:30 right now, so most people have to work. But in India, for example, they already have free and are available for some YouTube program instead of TV. So uh, this building is also a very controversial, because it was preserved, but then they just destructed it and built this, I think, very beautiful. It's called Flow Building. There are only few houses on the Wenceslas Square that are older than from the uh, end of the 19th century. One of them is this pink one. That's a beautiful Baroque building from the end of the 18th century, and this is this was an insurance in which once Franz Kafka used to work. He was not really happy to work for an insurance, but somehow. And then there are three buildings that were built after the Second World War. One of them is this one, and the other ones stand on the upper corners of the Wenceslas Square. This one where you can see the Popeyes now. That's this building is called the House of Fashion, and then this building where now you can see the McDonald's and the blue sign of the Occidental. This once used to be the House of Elementaries, and these houses were built after the Second World War because they were hit by bombs in February 1945, where the Allies get lost in fog, and instead of Dresden, they threw the bombs here on Prague. This building is also something special. It's called Hotel Yalta, and was originally built as a um, seat for the general staff. There is a nuclear bunker inside, and an operation room, and also a tank with water. So they are ready. Let's hope nothing like this will be necessary. And there are very beautiful materials, particularly stones used. And the former president in this time was a stonemason, and he was helping himself to choose the materials for this hotel. And now we are heading towards Ich verstehe die Frage nicht. Kannst du mir das erklären? Hast du mich irgendwo gesehen? We are heading towards this building on the corner where now KFC is. You can see there is something that looks like a lantern on the roof. And that's because it's the Lantern Palace. This house was built in the beginning of the 20th century by the grandfather of our former president, Václav Havel. Václav Havel was our first post-communist president, and in fact, they used many new technologies. For example, here there was the first glass beton ceiling used to get daylight into the passageways here, and these houses. There are several houses here, not only this Lantern Palace, and it looks like a mental cheese. Many passageways here. Yeah, here we have a modern interpretation of the Saint Wenceslas sculpture hanging from the ceiling. And I'm going to climb up. There is a balcony that's actually a stairway to the entrance of one of the oldest cinemas. Look, that's the grandfather of Václav Havel. The name is the same. And I think they resemble a little bit. Also, very noble material used here, artificial marble, and also these windows are super beautiful. How do you like it? Beautiful lamps and other really great details. So, and here, that's St. Wenceslas by David Černý. David Černý is who sometimes walks with me, knows he is one of my favorite artists. It's the probably most famous artist right now. My favorite sculpture is the babies climbing up the TV tower in Žižkov. But St. Wenceslas was one of the first ones that came into the public areas of Prague. And there is a QR code. I am not sure if it will work, but I can show you and make a screenshot. So if you're interested, you could explore more artworks of his sculptures, because it's not a simple art. He always wants to tell the public a deeper message. You know what I mean? Das Gebäude gehört immer noch der Familie Havel, allerdings nicht mehr dem Václav Havel, sondern der Frau von seinem Bruder. So, I've got a question. Who's the owner of this building right now? So there's also a kind of an exhibition. Who's the owner of this building right now? And the owner is not the family of. It's still the family Havel, but not Václav Havel, but the wife of his brother. So you can see, I told you these buildings are something like Emmental cheese. A lot of passageways throughout, and many beautiful ceilings. A lot of brass here, because it's such a noble material. Some galleries. Even a theater is here. So, and we're going to leave it here. This house was one of the first shopping centers in Prague. This was a house called Unováku, and there was a very sad history with it during the construction of this house. The house collapsed, and several workers died. This was also in the 20s. It has such a beautiful facade. Wait, when I come out, I will cross the street and you can admire the decorations on it. So here we are. This street is called Vodičková, and there is some old tramway coming. Look at this. It's not the very old one. It's not the oldest one, but also a beautiful tram. So look at this house. I really like all of these balconies and the decorations in green and looking like flowers or little animals. There are a lot of frogs on this house, and then summer scenery, people making picnic. I will show you one more frog. So over there, that's the Wenceslas Square, and over there, that's the Charles Bridge, and that's where we are going now. This Vodičková Street is one of the main connecting streets built already in 1348 when Charles IV established this part of Prague. This neighborhood is called New Town of Prague. So it's actually not this new as we could think. And this beautiful building that we see here, this is a school. Here there's this beautiful passageway, and over there you can see the sculpture of Josef Hlávka. he was once the owner of these houses here, and he was a huge donator for talented students. And the building where this passageway is that I was showing you before, uh, this was a part of his donation. These students were allowed to live here. So, and this was one of the the very first school where girls were allowed to study. Do you see? It's beautiful, decorated. And this building starred in many movies in the Czech Republic. And there still is a school inside. I discovered an interesting passageway today that's over there. There is a second-hand shop that says recycle or die. Then I discovered another interesting passageway. That's the hallway of this building, and that's that's the city hall of neighborhood of Prague 1, new building, and there's a free toilet inside, but don't tell anybody. So the tower that we see here is the tower from the city hall of the new town of Prague. And there is something that I'm thinking about. Charles IV wanted that these two towns, the new town and the old town, that they act as one town, but they gave Newtown an own city hall. So maybe someone can explain me. I don't understand, because there were a lot of arguments afterwards. The uh, old town people didn't want to cooperate with the new town people, but the view from the tower is beautiful. So once you're in Prague, don't miss it. Here we have a beautiful building, and here inside there's for sure a beautiful beer garden inside. And now we have to turn to the left because there is a super beautiful door. Even if this house really is completely new, there is a children theater. The whole portal is from the Baroque time, with a beautiful carved door. So how do you like this? So unfortunately, here we can't see a lot because it's under reconstruction. Here you can see a funny door of the children's theater. So I'm sure we could visit this tower once more when it's spring or summer. The views will be beautiful. And here also on this door, same as on the door of the uh, city hall in the castle district, you can see there is this a kind of a pole or a piece of metal, which is the official elbow when you uh, when you bought something here on the market. So you were able to come here and control if the seller didn't cheat you, right? So in this square, that's the Charles Square. Finally, we arrived on the biggest square in Middle Europe. It has more than 80,000 square meters. And you can imagine once it was even bigger because the city hall was not the corner of the square. The square went further in this direction. And here, in this part, there in the medieval times, there were some stands selling fish. And in this part, there were stands selling meat, a kind of butchers. And also this street is called the Butcher Street. Here we have a beautiful palace of the noble family Salm. And this house once used to be the home of the one of the two most important sculptors of the Baroque time, of Matthias Bernhard Braun. And in the end of 19th century, a landscape architect called Thomayer renovated this this square. He created all of these paths and he planted many precious and particularly many different trees here, trees and bushes. And that's why I was hoping that we could find the first signs of the spring here on the square. But when I walked through this park today at noon approximately, I didn't discover any flowers, but I've discovered that they really tidy up here. You can't barely find any foliage, and they put fresh fresh mulch on the ground. So some sphinx here guiding the sculpture of one of our poets. So, and somewhere I have to go across the street to reach the next part of the square. On this square, when Charles IV established the new town of Prague, this was the cattle market, and also the two main streets leading to the Charles Square, to the former cattle market, were used as markets. In this streets, people were trading with corn, or not corn, sorry, wheat or rice, and the other street was the so-called swine market. So sorry, I had to read the messages. Donald Duck wrote he subscribed on my channel, which I'm really happy about it. So here also you can see they really tidied up today. And I'm curious, when we reach the backyard part of this square, there were huge piles of old foliage, and it starts to look really pretty right now. Of course, sometimes there is some garbage still lying. Here the willows already get some green points. I think the foliage is coming also here. This fountain is so pretty in the spring and summer when it's working. So the building die beste Reisezeit in Prag. Es kommt drauf an, wenn dir andere Touristen nichts ausmachen, würde ich sagen, später Frühling, damit es nicht zu heiß wird. Oder dann im Herbst. Wenn du lieber weniger Touristen bevorzugst, dann vielleicht sogar jetzt. Die meisten Sachen sind offen. So this building is the building of the Czech Technical University. Here once also a monastery stood. And now I'm going to show you a really huge tree. Rarely I've ever seen a tree like this. I think it's at least 2.5 meters. It's really huge. I'm going to take a screenshot. And then you can see the translation of this description in the community tab after I have translated it, or after ChatGPT translated it. So, and there where we're walking now, once Charles IV established a special chapel where once a year all of the crowning jewels of the Bohemian kingdom, but also of the Holy Roman Empire, were on display. And Charles IV also collected the reliquaries of the saints, and they also were here once in a year on display. And we have written evidence that about 30,000 people every year took a pilgrimage to Prague to visit this exhibition. So he was also trying to support the tourism to the capital. So push the button, and in the meanwhile we can have a look at the Church of Saint Ignaz. This was the church of the Jesuits. They had a monastery here. Now the buildings of the monastery are a part of the hospital that Joseph II established here in the 18th century. So, do you see? Everything looks tidied up and fresh. The gardeners are still working. Oh, I can't go through here. So no matter. There were no flowers here in the morning or at noon when I was here. Ja, ja. Das wird alles aufgeräumt hier. Aber die Häufen von den alten Blättern und von der alten Erde, doch, die sind noch da. Ich komme hier nur nicht durch. Ich hätte sollen irgendwo anders reingehen. Keiner schaut zu. Doch, da ist einer. Okay, ich gehe doch nicht durch. Nichts Verbotenes heute. Die geben sogar Geotextilien rein, dass das Unkraut nicht durchkommt. So here I'm going to go through. You see, ja, da war es nicht mehr versperrt. So, hier eine Skulptur von einem bedeutenden Wissenschaftler. Sein Name steht auch auf der Fassade vom Nationalmuseum. Ja, zur Karlsbrücke ist es von hier schon ziemlich weit. Ich würde sagen, so 2 Kilometer. Sollen wir zur Karlsbrücke gehen nächste Woche? Should we go to the Charles Bridge next week? I still have no plan where to go next week, so if you'd like me to go to the Charles Bridge, let me know. So, das sind die Häufen, that's the piles I was talking about. And here, everything is super clean, tidied up, and beautiful old trees, as I told you. So, We should go here once more in a few weeks to see how it changed. And you see how long I was walking now, and there still is the convent of the Jesuits, the former Jesuit monastery, now a part of a hospital. The Jesuits were an important part of the education during the recatholization here. That's an interesting sculpture. I really like it because there's a funny history behind it, but I will show you the hero here is also a scientist and a famous collector of orchids. He traveled to Asia and South America. He used to work for a Dutch guy who was trading with plants, and he this Benedikt Roezl brought unusual flowers and other plants to him. And now he's got a sculpture on the Charles Square. Some old roots. Hey, and that's the same bushes that we saw in front of the National Museum with these tiny blooms. So guys, while walking, you can tell me where you're watching from. Während ich hier laufe, könnt ihr mir sagen, woher ihr mir zuschaut. That's the so-called House of Faust, with a spooky history. Now it's also a part of the hospital here. That's the gate to the St. John on the Rock church. Maybe you saw my post before Christmas where I was showing they opened this area and sold Christmas trees inside. Do you also see the small face? And now we will pass on the right side another church. That's the Church of Emmaus. When you maybe know the pictures with such modern spires, this is this one. You see, this it's normally a Gothic church, but it was also hit by the bombs like these three houses on the Wenceslas Square, and not the entire church was destroyed, but definitely the front part of it. And they decided to build modern spires to remember on this attack. This monastery was also one of these that Charles IV established in the middle of the 14th century. He invited many different religious orders to Prague because he wanted that the architecture is colorful. He didn't want many same buildings, and every religious order used to build their churches in a different style. That's why he invited different religious orders to here. So that's the St. John on the Rock Church. So the official part of the life walk is finished now, but as usual, you can keep walking with me, and when you don't give up, I'm going to go through a modern neighborhood where there are some really cool sculptures and artworks to see. So feel free to follow my way home. You can also write some comments, and otherwise this live walk is going to go online with a live chat on Friday at 6 o'clock, so don't miss it. Don't forget to leave me a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to not miss the next live walk every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Meine Damen und Herren, dieser offizielle Teil von meinem Live-Walk ist jetzt vorbei. Wie gehabt, ihr könnt mich auf meinem Weg nach Hause begleiten, wenn ihr das aushaltet. Werde ich durch ein Viertel, ein modernes Viertel durchgehen, wo es ziemlich coole, moderne Kunstwerke zu sehen gibt. Also bleibt dabei. Und ansonsten können wir uns austauschen am Freitag beim Live-Chat. Da kommt nämlich dieses Video online. Und oder nächsten Dienstag wieder beim nächsten Live-Walk. Nächste Woche wieder auf Deutsch. Und vergesst nicht, mir einen Like dazulassen und schreibt mir einen Kommentar und abonniert meinen Kanal, damit ihr den nächsten Live-Walk nicht verpasst. Servus!